Well, donkey today for Wednesday, January 17th goes to Republican presidential candidate and former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley. I have had the opportunity to have a conversation with Nikki Haley when I guest hosted The Daily Show last November. I had her on. I've also said repeatedly, I personally believe the Republican Party should move away from Donald Trump and the 91 criminal charges, 2 impeachments, and a host of other BS he brings to the table. That's an understatement, by the way. The GOP needs to move away from him, get behind Nikki. But they won't, because the white supremacist party doesn't really want an Indian American female representing them. I don't believe anyway. And the GOP, if, they can get Trump back in office, are so close to really taking over and punishing who they hate. Why would they give that up now? But those aren't the reasons we are gathered here today. We are gathered here today because Nikki Haley is in the news this week because she is the latest American politician to say America is not a racist country. Her statement was, America has never been a racist country, which is complete malarkey. Cap, as the kids say. Let's listen.
Are you a racist party?
We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country. Our goal is to make sure that today is better than yesterday. Are we perfect? No. I know I faced racism when I was growing up, but I can tell you today is a lot better than it was then.
Cap.
If we're about race, she would be dead last. And that's something we truly get to look at. But again, man, you're going to sit there and you're going to fan the flames of division. That's all you do. Because again, you're brainwashed. You are completely and utterly brainwashed. And I mean, guy, in some ways, I felt bad for you. I do, because you're so brainwashed. And it's not just black people, it's white people too that are brainwashed into believing that, there's so much bad that white people have done and everything else. There's bad all people have done. But again, there's so much good that white people have done over the years in different countries than the Western world. So much good. So we truly have to understand that. I mean, again, you're acting like black people didn't enslave their own people, didn't sell their own people, didn't kill their own people. The thing is, we have truly got to understand they want you looking at this in one certain way, and that is it. They don't want you thinking to yourself, oh, it did happen around the world. It did. They don't want you looking at that.
That wasn't even the question. The question was, are you a racist party? But Nikki said America has never been a racist country. But then she turned around and said she has experienced racism. That's because there can be systemic racism without racists. Let's discuss. Listen, y'all, I don't know why we have to say this ever so often, but a quick reminder, America is a racist country. I think we forget that racism isn't always explicitly visible. It's not always, conscious. But in America, what racism absolutely is and always has been is systemic and structural. Remember when the great black philosopher, father of Blue Ivy, said, and you can try to change, but that's just the top layer. Man, you was who you was before you got here. That's America, regardless of how the top layer changes. Doesn't matter if Oprah is the richest woman in the world or Barack Obama was president. That's just top layer stuff. The root, the foundation of this country is systemic and structural racism.
So again, we got to believe this country is racist. Why? In what way? I mean, again, we've had a black president. We've had mixed vice president. We have had, black politicians, black leaders, black business owners, black entertainers, rich black people, full equality under the law, which is all you can ever have. But this country is somehow racist at its core. Deep down inside, you can't touch it. You can't see it. You can't see the effects of it. But again, they want you to believe that this country is somehow racist. And again, you're talking about individual people being hateful towards people. Yeah, I do agree it happens. It happens quite a bit. But we gotta be honest, man. It happens much more from black onto white than white onto black. We have to understand that happens all the time in the media. Whatever they can say about white people, but white people can't say the exact same thing about black. or again, they lose their damn mind. We also have to understand, man, that you're 8 times as more likely, if you're white, to be attacked by a black person than if you're black attacked by a white person. We have to truly get that. But again, man, this country is racist. Really?
It's deeply embedded in systems, laws, written or unwritten policies. These racist practices and beliefs that produce and perpetuate widespread unfair treatment and oppression of people who are at the bottom of this caste system in America, okay? And those people are black, brown. It is what it is. Why do we act like this isn't a thing, okay? America was never a racist country. How many examples do you need right now? We don't even got to, get in the DeLorean and go back to slavery or the Jim Crow South. We can talk about residential segregation right now, unfair lending practices and other barriers to home ownership. We could talk about, unfair barriers to accumulating wealth and environmental injustice and biased policing and sentencing of black men and black boys, voter suppression policies. There's a quote, and the quote is, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And when people say things like America is not a racist country or it's never been a racist country, that's them trying to not remember the past. And that is exactly why systemic racism continues to permeate all sectors and areas of society.
The majority of violent crime in this country is committed by less than 13% of the population. Black people commit the majority of violent crime in this country, and the majority of black people that commit crime are black men, black boys. So again, we truly have to get that. So they're going to have higher interactions with the cops. Again, they're going to wind up in prison at much higher rates. We got to understand that. But also, guys, we also have to remember that, again, the majority of people that wind up in prison came out of homes that did not have a father present. And again, man, back in 1960, we understand that 75%, thereabouts, of black homes were headed by men. Back in 1960 and before. And now, man, like less than 25% do. So again, we do understand the majority of people in prison were raised in homes without fathers. So again, we know there's a lack of leadership in black homes. And again, man, you can say whatever you want to say. But we understand that. We know that. And again, man, you said that black people are lended money from the banks. Yeah, they are. If they have good enough credit scores. Because again, man, banks are there to make money. They want to make money. They want to make, they're not going to turn down a good loan. They're not going to. But again, man, if somebody has bad credit and they're buying a house or buying property in a neighborhood that's not good. Yeah, I mean, banks, they want to make sure they're not going to lose money on it. So again, they're going to say no. And then sit there and say that, we're doomed to repeat the mistakes if you don't look at and understand the history. I agree with that. I do. But the fact of the matter is, right now, we are repeating those mistakes. You can say whatever you want to say about white people in the media. You can say whatever you want to say. But again, man, you can't say it in reverse. It'd be horrible. People would lose their damn mind. So again, we truly have to understand, if you can say something about one group, but they can't say it about you, then you have privilege.
Things like America is not a racist country or America has never been a racist country is why we have never truly fixed systemic racism. Because acknowledging the existence of systemic racism is the first step. All right? You can't heal what you don't reveal, and we're not going to ever heal because there's not a politician who truly wants to be honest about it. This isn't the first time I've given the biggest hee-haw to someone for making these type of statements. Oh, no. See, back in 2021, just 3 short years ago, my South Carolina brethren, Senator Tim Scott, delivered the GOP response to Biden's first joint address in Congress. And he said this.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Yeah. Well, that statement for the next few days caused the media to ask every person of color, okay, every black and brown person who was in government, whether or not they thought America was a racist country. They asked, more of my South Carolina brethren, my OG Jim Clyburn. I love Jim Clyburn. I hope this doesn't get my invite to Jim Clyburn's world-famous fish fry revoked this year. But they asked my OG, and he said this.
A racist country would never elect Barack Obama president or Kamala Harris vice president. So we should stop arguing about whether or not this is a racist country. It is not.
Cap. They also asked Vice President Kamala Harris, is America a racist country? And she had this to say.
Well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today.
Cap. Nikki Haley, Republican, Tim Scott, Republican, Jim Clyburn, Democrat, Kamala Harris, Democrat, all saying America is not, or as Nikki said, never has been a racist country. Every single one of those statements is just simply not true on any level. Absolute falsehoods, okay? The Vice President Kamala Harris said America is not a racist country, but the nation must speak the truth about its history with racism in this country. Speaking the truth about the history of racism in this country is acknowledging that, yes, America systemically and structurally is a racist country. Okay, saying this country isn't racist because they elected President Obama and, Vice President Kamala Harris is not accurate. Everybody in this country isn't racist, okay? I believe people aren't inherently racist, but once again, this country, this system is rooted in structural and systemic racism. The irony of OG Jim Clyburn's statements are they are actively trying to prevent us from ever having another President Obama now.
I think he's unwittingly telling people that, again, the white people are to blame for whatever, man. And it's not even close to being true. We don't live in a white supremacist society. We don't. But again, man, he's going to push this narrative. That's what he wants to do. I mean, again, it does not matter that the president of this country, the man that was in the highest office in this country, was black for 8 years. It does not matter. And again, that he was voted for by white people. Would have had to have been. Because again, man, white people are 60% of this country. So again, we had to truly understand that white people had to vote for him. Didn't matter if every single black person voted for him or not. Man, there's no way he would have been in office without white support. So we have truly got to understand. We also have to understand, man, there are all kinds of black people in office, in power, that are rich, that are famous, all kinds of black people. So again, man, we have to understand that. But we live in a white supremacist society. No, I don't think so. Not even close, man. There's full equality under the law, which again, man, is all you can ever have. But again, man, it's a good way to blame people. It's a good way to have people to blame. And that truly is what is dangerous. Man, the other day is funny. The other day, I had a black man comment to one of my videos. And he said, something of the fact that, you people, enslaved people, like, you people enslaved us. That's what he said. And I'm like, you people, are you crazy? But number one, man, I didn't do a thing to you. Not one thing. I never owned slaves. What are you talking about, man? You people, what he's talking about is my skin color. That's what he's talking about, man. You're talking about racist? You're talking about, again, could you imagine if I said that? You people? Back 26 years ago, my car was stolen at gunpoint by 2 black men. So what if I said, you people stole my car? Could you imagine, man? People would be like, you can't say that. That's racist. What is what he said? He's living in his imagination. Again, he's living in the past, but not even his past. Again, the very far past that doesn't even affect him. Now he can say, oh, it does, man. It does, man. All this been passed down through the generations or whatever, man. Bullshit. Stop it. Man, again, you can say whatever you want to say, But you were never a slave, and I was never a slave owner. And that's just the way it is, man. So again, you can say, you people enslaved us, but that literally doesn't mean a damn thing. Because you people? Who? Me? I didn't enslave anyone. What do you mean, you people? You're talking about the color of my skin. That's it. So again, you're talking about being racist? And you're saying things like that? Really? Again, that's what the problem is, man. They get people whipped up. And they get people into groups. And they oppress people that were never oppressing them. They get them mad. They get them enraged at people that have never done a thing to them. And that is what the problem is. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks.
You son of a